I need to get to this James Charles situation that's going on, and it feels so good to talk about something else right now. But I have been sent this article from Cosmopolitan that James Charles did like a profile with them, and I have it loaded up right here, and it is causing quite the conversation right now. So it is like, sorry, my French bulldog just breathing very intensely back here. Hi. It is this article, and it is basically called James Charles would like to be uncancelled, please, which is a really weird thing to start off the article with being, titled. And then I was like, I saw this on Twitter, and I saw a couple of my friends who are journalists tweeting about it, and apparently there's some like really bad quotes in here, and I was like, what is going on? And then I looked into it, and I was like, oh, the photos in here are of James Charles, working on his makeup brand and stuff like that. We'll see more as we scroll down. And I was like, oh, they're trying to clear his image before he launches his makeup brand. Because again, I've kind of spoken about the fact that James Charles is releasing his makeup brand way too late. Like, I'm sorry, but not a lot of people are buying makeup anymore. I think we're in a very different era of skincare and makeup where we're kind of all living a more minimalistic approach to buying things. I think especially whenever it comes to skincare and makeup, I think people exhausted that in the 2016 to 2019, buying every product and then everyone having all this waste. And I think, people don't even buy the equivalent of like Jeffree Star anymore or MAC or e.l.f. or all these different brands. And I feel like the only brands that are doing really well in the makeup space right now are, and trust me, I'm being, a little bit biased here, so call me out if I'm wrong, but are like Fenty Beauty, Rihanna, because the range is so inclusive and the products work really well on a lot of different skin tones that a lot of brands have just, completely neglected for a while. I am completely out of focus, so hey, there we go. And Rare Beauty. Rare Beauty has this mission of like no makeup, which I think is doing really well right now. And I think those two brands work really well in the space. And I feel like if James Charles had released his makeup brand a long time ago, it would have probably been as big, in my opinion, as Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And I don't want to sound delusional there, but James Charles had a hold, like a grip over the makeup community. And I think over the years that has, woo. So this article coming out, obviously in the wake of his products being launched, I'm pretty sure he said that they were going to launch in the spring. We're in summer now. It just keeps getting pushed back. And remember he was posting being like, can y'all help me with how I should promote my makeup or how it should look? Like, he really didn't seem to have any direction. And I think James Charles was always known as someone who had his own ideas in the community, which is ironic because he stole most of them. But this article is definitely the PR approach to, please like us again so you can buy our products. So let's get into this. James Charles would like to be uncancelled, please. More than 2 years. Okay, so we're focusing on the fact that this was a long time ago already. More than 2 years ago, after allegations of SEXUAL, stuff, sent the super beauty YouTuber into an influencer purgatory, he's hoping to relaunch himself and his brand. Oh, what a privilege. With the help of a new makeup line. Oh, there we go. We're just saying it right off the bat. In a wide-ranging interview with Cosmopolitan, Charles talks about fucking up and trying to move on. So this is the article on Cosmo, and all the photos are of course him, with makeup and stuff. So it is obviously trying to save the reputation, mama. It is the year of the internet 2023, and I think this is really interesting, this coming out, by the way, in the wake of the Colleen thing happening. I don't mean to bring it there. Can I stay in focus? Hello? Not the James Charles voodoo trying to take me out. They said you will not focus on Adam McIntyre today. I think it's really interesting, this article coming out in the wake of another YouTuber being cancelled for similar things that James is being cancelled for. And I think as well, James was a very outspoken person when Colleen Ballinger was getting accused of things in 2020, and he, went on the record calling me a liar, saying that I was doing it for attention, and, he's very silent now, so I would love to hear him address if he still stands by that. So, I just have a few questions here and there for you, James, if you want to take, the moment for a long-ranging interview with me. All right. An internet celebrity has an apology to make. So here I am sitting in James Charles's mansion like a pop culture priest ready to take his confession. Okay, very weird. Let us begin. And then a quote. I don't want to sit here and mope and whine and cry because no one wants to hear it, says Charles, sinking into a plush couch in his casual open living room. I had a lot of thinking to do. Like, okay, babe, this is your fault. No, you're not a P word. No, you're not a grimmer. No, you're not a but you made a big mistake. All right, very interesting start to this article. Which squishmallow are you? Start quiz now! Somehow this is more interesting than what this article is going to be about. I think that's a really weird statement to open up with. I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser because I've made a fart joke. Like, seriously, at this point, you're likely familiar with the specific, celebrity profiles like this, the ones that come together post-cancellation after a respectable amount of time has passed post-cancellation sin. It's no surprise that a star's willingness to answer intimate questions about a catastrophic stretch of their lives increases dramatically when they have a project to promote. Okay, well, I'm glad they're admitting that at least. In today's case, that's what, James Charles' new makeup line, Painted, is coming out. But it's also Charles himself, warrior, accepting, but still wants to be a little bit more Charles. This very interview is to be a trial balloon. Its reception, the answer to the question both of us and maybe you too want to know in the Google search, is James Charles still cancelled? Okay, so they're launching the brand being like, are we still cancelled? Do people like us? Can we sell things? Which is just really weird. Like, I feel like you should come out and just be genuine rather than being like, is it time enough? Have y'all moved on? Have y'all moved on? You know what I mean? After all, would a still outs person be allowed to pose for red carpet cameras at the People's Choice Awards or chat with paparazzi while out and about in Hollywood? Would a still banished person have hundreds of thousands of followers, enthusiastically engaging with his YouTube beauty tutorials? Would a truly exiled person be 24 years... Where are we going? Would be 24 years old and living in a reported $7 million farmhouse that looks like a cross between the homes featured in the later seasons of Vanderpump Rules. I just met Lisa Vanderpump, so I'm loving that little thing. And I'm just starting season 2. And all the iterations of the Kardashians. Black and white modern exteriors, hyper-organized interiors. When I arrived, I noticed Oreos in a glass jar on a pristine marble kitchen island. A display... All right, whatever. There's a lot of writing on that answer. Painted, a solo venture 4 years into the making, launches in just a few weeks. Okay, people have speculated that I have partners or investors, which I don't know how that rumor got started, Charles says. This line is fully self-funded, because no one wants to work with you. Every single dollar that has gone into the brand has been from my personal savings and checking accounts. I have no investors, no partners, no billion-dollar backers behind me. Okay, I really don't care. When I polled friends and colleagues about Charles in the run-up to this day, the general consensus was that he had done something bad, but no one was clear on exactly what. Well, I don't necessarily know who you polled, because I think everyone knows what James Charles did, even in the general world, and what it was. So I don't necessarily know who you polled in that. Maybe like old people. I do not know. Okay. That neither of us knows how it will go due to the murky nature of cancel culture. Okay, all right, great start. We're already starting this off with cancel culture. What James Charles did was not cancel culture. It was James Charles abusing his power, which we're very aware of in the last couple weeks with other YouTubers. And it's crisscrossing tripwires of implied and loosely enforced rules. And I hate when people focus on cancel culture. There's no such thing as cancel culture. There's no such thing as cancel culture. If cancel culture existed, you would not be interviewing James Charles right now with an article that's like, the uncancelable James Charles. There's no such thing as it. Grow up. All right. It's a landscape hellspace, some would say, in which all comebacks are tentative and where the conversation around an offensive thing ends up obscuring the offense itself. When I polled friends and colleagues about Charles in the run-up, the consensus was that he had done something bad, but no one knew exactly what it was. As a very online millennial, I had long been, aware of Charles without knowing anything really about him. The influencer's platonic ideal, bored at home during the pandemic, I watched the Dramageddon feud he had with another YouTuber whose name I never remember. Okay, great work on this article already. He had a fight with a YouTuber, don't really know the name. Oh, in a Cosmopolitan interview? You're writing this and being like, oh, I knew the drama, but I have no idea what she's called. I don't get it. Journalism at its finest. Okay, I don't understand that. I never remember her name. A hilarious non-scandal scandal that possibly had something to do with hair vitamins, ? Okay, why are you talking about this if you have no idea what it is? It seems like everyone in my life under the age of 25 considers Charles an internet celebrity, and no one over the age of 45 has heard of him unless they have children. Those in the former grip know that he's been famous since his teen years, although his storylines are all self-produced. So then we have a photo of him doing his makeup. Charles first went viral in blah, 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 blah. All right. In a corner of the internet known for constant sniping, backstabbing, and hopelessly, rivalries, the same lack of perma-logged on status that drew viewers in to Charles made him a magnet for drama. There he was, posting regular apologies for things like insensitive tweets about Africa and Ebola, or for asking Shawn Mendes to juggle me like that during an Instagram livestream in which Shawn Mendes was juggling. Okay. James Charles developed a reputation for a kind of over-the-top thirstiness, a quality that would be interpreted as refreshingly candid or slightly cringe, depending on who you asked. I have never heard one person refer to James Charles's attitude towards men online as refreshingly candid. I have never heard anyone ever say that about James Charles. And I've never heard them say slightly cringe. I've said incredibly cringe. What is this article already? At least one rival, it should be said, interpreted differently. His Dramageddon opponent initially accused Charles of using his fame to manipulate straight men. True to influencer form, she retracted the claim and apologized a year later. Yet all the drama seemed to ultimately earn him one thing, more followers. At his peak, so why are you saying cancel culture exists then if you're saying that he got more followers out of it? Two can't be true at the same time. Bonk, journalist. I don't get this. At his peak, Charles had nearly 26 million YouTube subscribers, on top of tens of millions more on TikTok and Instagram. That was before. In February 2021, at age 21, Charles confronted a career crisis he couldn't quickly apologize for or capitalize on. He was publicly accused of sending lewd photographs and inappropriate, messages to a then 16-year-old fan. Okay, Charles said he was misled into believing the boy was 18 and that okay, but I'm sorry. I'm 20 years old. And I don't know if I'm just being making this about myself. I'm 20 years old. And the thought of going on a date with someone who's 19 is not something I want to do. Never mind someone that's 18. And I'm 20. I'm not even 21 going on 22 that James Charles was whenever he was doing that. I don't know if it's just me, but there's nothing really. I know I'm still young, only being 20. But looking at someone who's 19 or 18, which, is very close in age to me, seems really young. My kind of history, if you will, with men, the, three of them, they've all been older than me. One of them was the most recent one. I'm getting into tea here. The most recent one was 21. The other one was 23. And the other one was 25. Never once have I ever expressed any interest in even going on a date with someone who is 19 or 18. And I'm only 20. And 19 is literally only a few months older or younger than me. It seems way too young. It doesn't seem right to me. I'm only 20, so 19 and 20 or 18 and 20 if you even want to. It doesn't seem right to me. 20 plus, yeah. That's not me being dating 30-year-olds or anything like that. But it just seems very, very, very young because I know how I felt at 19 and I know how I feel at 20. I still feel really young. Never mind even 18. So James's, argument at nearly being 22 is, I thought they were 18. That still seems weird to me. Even though it's okay, I guess, it still seems weird to me. As someone who's younger than what James was when he was doing this, I wouldn't even want to do that. So James said he thought the boy was 18 and he blocked him as soon as he learned the truth. I've never been more disgusted in my life than when I found out the kid was 16 years old, James Charles says. I was mortified, absolutely mortified. The fan did not return to Cosmopolitan's request for comment. That's not the gotcha moment you want about the 18-year-old fan not responding to a Cosmopolitan interview about James Charles acting inappropriately. That's not the gotcha moment. Didn't respond to request, but yet James going, that's not the gotcha moment you thought it was. Sorry. The allegation triggered more complaints against Charles. There were, different things in the forums of TikToks filled with screenshots of flirtatious conversations Charles had allegedly conducted with a number of male fans. A few of the reported accusations, like the initial one, were serious and claim. Okay, so let's focus on that. A few of them were serious and claimed to detail inappropriate online interactions between Charles and minors. Okay, let's stop it there. Because they're going to go on to be like, it wasn't true. The rest of it. You just confirmed that there were ones that were factual and that were true. So you're going to spend the rest of this paragraph from the way you've built that up, to be like the other ones were fake. You just admitted that a bunch of them happened. Other claims, including an incident in which Charles allegedly called someone daddy, felt muddier. Almost all of them were eventually rounded up into viral Twitter threads by a controversial poster who keeps track of internet scandals, now under fire himself. Yes, even the person who was putting these all together, who has now deleted them. So they're talking about Def Noodles there. I wouldn't necessarily say Def Noodles is under fire himself right now, maybe ages ago, so I don't even know why they included that. In the end, substantiated or not, what does that mean? In the end, substantiated or not, you just admitted that a bunch of them were true. But cancel culture, right? But cancel culture, of course. Multiple media reports indicated that at least 15 boys and men had accused Charles of inappropriate behavior. Charles now says that the allegations, the source of where the lists were coming from were not doing any sort of research, no fact checking, and some of the screenshots depicted consensual conversations between adults, he says, where others were completely fake and had never even happened. Charles had never legally charged, or has never been legally charged with engaging inappropriately with a minor, let alone proven to have knowingly done so. Nevertheless, that April, Charles uploaded a 14-minute-long video titled Holding Myself Accountable, where he admitted to exchanging messages with two 16-year-old boys that he believed were 18 and apologized for his desperate behavior. Well, let's focus on that. Let's focus on that. You have just done this entire thing being like, you know, cancel culture and the muddy of the water with these allegations, but you've just said that James himself sat down and said that they were true. Even two of them. Too many. You're like, you know, but he only did it to two 16-year-olds. Hello? Cosmopolitan reached out to multiple people who said they were minors at the time of the exchanges. One asked if we'd be willing to pay and did not reply again when told that we do not compensate for interviews. Okay, they're saying that as like, oh, they just care about money. Well, why do they have to go on the record? Why does one of the 16-year-olds or two of them have to go on the record? This hierarchy of, oh, James wants to talk now. They don't have to talk now. It's the same thing about Cody bringing up my story. I didn't have to talk now. No one has to talk now. First of all, I don't think they would want to be a part of this article because this entire thing is about cancel culture. But another fan accuser wrote back via Instagram DMs with a new revelation. He said he had already privately apologized to Charles a few months ago for telling him I was 18 a few months ago in the TikTok I made that blew up the situation. When asked to elaborate, the person did not reply. Charles's team said someone did message Charles this spring admitting he lied about his age. Okay, but James Charles is admitting that he wants to talk in that kind of way to 18-year-olds. He's like 22. That is so weird. Even still, I don't think that's the gotcha moment you think it is. A 22-year-old should not be sending lewd photos to an 18-year-old. Like, they were a 16-year-old, which makes this even worse, but they're basically being like, you know, but they were 18. That does not make it better. Why is a 22-year-old wanting to engage in that way with an 18-year-old? It's not right. It's not right. What the oh my god. I can't. Their thing is like, it wasn't weird because he thought he was talking to an 18-year-old, but they were actually 16. Why was he wanting to talk to an 18-year-old like that? Just because it's legal doesn't make it right. Sorry. All right. If a celebrity with tens of millions of followers came sliding into your DMs, would you respond? I probably would. Did this journalist just write that? This journalist just wrote, trying to ask us the question. If a celebrity with tens of millions of followers came sliding into your DMs, would you respond? Because I probably would. How close can I get before I cut off? That is such a weird thing for a journalist to include in this article. Sorry, just needed a moment there. Charles says he recognizes the power imbalance at play in his interactions online. He should have verified everyone's ages, he said, and be more sensitive to how his fame could color the way others respond to him. And then a nice photo of him doing his makeup. Oh, I absolutely did fuck up, he says, but he denies that he ever engaged in grooming. A practice defined by the anti-violence organization RAIN as manipulative behaviors that a person uses to gain access to a potential, coerce them into agreeing to what's happening and reduce the risk of being caught. Charles continues, I feel like that word is a very popular buzzword right now. Especially in politics. But the actual meaning of it has been so misconstrued. Referring to his first allegations against him, he adds, the conversation lasted 1 hour. I don't know this person, I've never met this person. Nothing happened between me and this person, so to use that word is categorically incorrect. In the absence of hard evidence, hordes of commenters and bystanders came onto the idea that Charles was creepy, irresponsible at best, possibly predatory at worst. His apology was a mock genre of YouTube, influencers, and was full-throated, but it did not, do anything to the situation. After years of benefiting from online controversies, Charles had officially become too toxic for the internet. Yeah, possibly predatory. What is this? This article sucks. Why is he looking at me like that? My throat. His YouTube page was demonetized, but he did not return as the host of, his YouTube page was demonetized. He did not return as the host of Insta Influencer. Do you remember that show? His show on YouTube, Insta Influencer? Sheesh. And his other business ventures languished. He and Morphe, a makeup, Morphe are, so he didn't lose much there. An influencer-focused beauty brand with which he partnered on an eyeshadow palette and brushes cut ties. Charles' team says this was done at their own request after they saw Morphe getting backlash for associating with Charles. Oh, so James's team are saying that they were the ones that pulled back from Morphe, not Morphe. I don't know how I believe that, but okay. If they're not showing any proof of emails and stuff, then I don't really know what to say. Charles told me he pocketed a small amount from the deal that allowed him to buy a house and pay off his parents' mortgage. One estimate put his total loss of income in the millions. I can't even begin to explain to you how bad that week of my life was. Charles remembers as he looks out at his backyard. I was crying myself to sleep every single night. I was sitting there in my bed staring at my phone. I wanted 2K. I wasn't talking to anybody. People threw food into his yard and spray painted his property fences, prompting him to hire security. I think I've always been someone who's been able to cope. He continues. I've been able to turn my phone off. I've been able to go see my family, to have friends over, go to an escape room, watch a movie, play Mario. Okay, we get it. Play Mario Kart, play Minecraft, build Legos. We get it. You have hobbies. With this situation, it was really scary because my coping mechanisms weren't coping. It was the first time where I was like, oh, I actually don't know what to do here. I eventually got to the point where I was like, this is not healthy. This is not good. This is getting to a really dark place. The fallout became deeply personal when his younger brother, who works as a model in New York City, stopped talking to him because of the allegations. It's now been 2 years since they last spoke. It was the first time where I was like, oh, I do not know what to do from here. Okay, so his brother is not speaking to him anymore and hasn't for 2 years. Let me just load up Ian Jeffrey, who is a model now. Ian is a model now. This is them. Ian's a big model in New York. I see him pop up on Instagram. Apparently he's doing a really good job. This is what he looks like now. He is like a full-on model in New York City. This is what he looks like now. Okay. Treading a well-worn post-scandal path, Charles spent the next few months mostly offline doing a lot of self-reflection and, talking with mental health professionals. And while a couple months ago, it may have seemed like a short time for a break, to Charles, having no stage felt like an endless punishment. I absolutely hated it, he said. I am someone who likes to be busy at all times. I love filming, and having nothing to do drove me insane. In the summer of 2021, Charles prepared a comeback video, a 30-minute YouTube title, posted an open conversation. I do not remember this. Ooh, I do remember this.
Hi sisters, James Charles here and welcome back to my YouTube channel.
I've already disliked it.
First of all, wow, it feels so weird to say those words out loud. Oh my gosh, it has been a really, really long time since I've been down here in the makeup studio, but it feels really good to be sitting here today. I have missed you guys more than you could ever imagine. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a very happy and beautiful Pride Month. It kind of feels like the world is finally getting back to normal with all the vaccines and stuff. I got both my shots over the past couple of weeks, which has been amazing. And I really feel like there's a lot of beautiful things happening in the world right now, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with you guys today. As you know, over the past couple of months, I have been offline. After I posted my last video, which was holding myself accountable, I felt as though it was really, really important for me to actually hold myself accountable and take a major step away and do a lot of work behind the scenes until I was ready to come back. And the last 3.5 months now, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, have been really weird. I've been doing social media for almost 6 years now, which is wild to think about, but I've really never taken a long break to just be away and work on myself. So this time was definitely different for me, but I also feel as though this has been some of the most important months in my entire life in terms of personal growth and self-reflection, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys a lot about that in today's video. I really want this today to just be a super, super honest, raw, unfiltered.
Doesn't he do his makeup during it?
Like I said, obviously I have absolutely no problem holding myself accountable for things that I did do, but I also do think as creators, or not even really creators, as human beings, we should also be able to defend ourselves on things that we did first place, and it waters down the severity of the issue and the situation going on. When I talk to or interact with, the second dose, however, was not exactly the same situation.
Him doing his makeup during this?
Playing an unhealthy amount of Minecraft Bed Wars, which is a really fun video game, and I've gotten so good at it. Oh my god. I've really spent a lot of time on myself and doing things that I really, really enjoy, and in the future, I definitely just want to showcase more of that to you guys, and bring you behind the scenes, and show the mess ups, and show the unedited photos.
Speaking of Minecraft, I really want to start a Minecraft series. I haven't, played it in years and years and years. Which began with the acknowledgement that it would be ridiculous and irresponsible to try and just come back to social media and pretend like nothing happened. It quickly became YouTube's most disliked video of the week, according to Forbes. Although it's been watched more than 6 million times to date, his next post about a TikTok cookie trend was only the 3rd most disliked video of the week. Woohoo! So Charles kept posting, driven by what I'd armchair therapist diagnosed as a compulsive need for online interaction. It's not just his brand, it's been his entire social media personality since he was in school. This photo's kind of cool. I like this photo. This would be a good, cover photo. I like it. As the only gay kid in school... Okay. Romantic relationships would become a whole other challenge, one that ultimately led to the incidents, he says. Finding dating prospects in the rare-field influencer celebrities world he eventually folded into was tough. Quickly, please name 5... Sorry, this quote I saw online. Do you want me to read you this quote? This is what James said. Quickly, please name 5 famous male gay celebrities from the ages of 20 to 25. You can't, because they don't exist. That is a quote he said. That is a quote he said. Quickly, please name 5 famous male gay celebrities from the age of 20 to 25, he says. You can't do it, is what he says. Ladies and gentlemen, that's his defense. His defense is that I cannot believe that they included this in the article. Bitch. I think he was friends with probably 50 gay, famous male influencers from the age of 20 to 25. He just didn't want them. They didn't want him. That is so bad to say. That is really, really, really bad to say. That's his... But also, can I just... Hold on. Can I provide a different point of view? James is... Let's feed into his delusions a little bit. He says you cannot name 5 famous male gay celebrities between the ages of 20 to 25. Okay, so why do you need to go younger than 20 then? Why can't you go older than 25? If you're struggling so desperately to find gay male celebs, because they apparently don't exist between 20 and 25, then surely they exist that are 26 years old. Why do you have to go younger? It seems like you're creating an excuse here. I don't think this is the card that he thinks he's playing here. Why are you going younger instead of going older? You are mid-25. You're mid-20s years. Hello? Can I talk? What time is it? 6 a.m. You are a mid-20-year-old person. You're 20-something right now. Why are you not going a little bit older than you, then very much so younger than you. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. I cannot believe that this in the James Charles is asking to be uncancelable. I cannot believe that that is a quote. Can I actually tweet this? I can't. I can't. Ridiculous. 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 I can. I actually can. You can't because they don't exist. So the internet, once again, he says, became an adventure for exploitation. He started using TikTok's For You page and Instagram's Explore page as a dating app, as many people his age do. Now, can I just say something? I don't know about y'all, but I have never scrolled on my For You page and been like, this is Tinder. This is Tinder. I have never scrolled through TikTok being like, which one do I want to try get with? I don't know if you can say that many people his age do that. And especially whenever you're coming at like 25 million followers or something, messaging people on Instagram. That's a power dynamic, my friend. And then using Instagram's Explore page. Bitch, my Instagram Explore page is strictly like... Let me see what my Instagram Explore page is. Let's see. Okay, so we have Garfield memes. We have footballers. We have Mariah Carey. Beyonce, monkey reaction pictures, more Mariah Carey. This is my Instagram Explore page. More monkey reaction pictures. Lana Del Rey, Justin Bieber, Madonna again. Madonna stuns in new photo. I don't know that reference. Beyonce, footballers, Mariah Carey, footballers, Garfield memes. I'm sorry. I'm not using any of those social medias as a way of... I don't think that that's fair to say. I don't think that that's fair to say. No. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Anyways, where was that part I was reading? His biggest mistakes, he now thinks, were making himself too available. He was the one messaging people. And recklessly hitting on anyone he thought might be showing any interest. Ugh, you could not pay me any amount of money to admit that. You could not pay me any amount of money to admit this on like a media interview. His intention was never to prey on minors, he says. He tried to explain this in the holding himself accountable video, but it didn't come across right. He reflects. I've been over by men so many times in my life. At this point, I just want a boyfriend. Someone who's going to love me, that's going to take care of me. So a lot of times I just go into talking with anyone with rose-colored glasses. It also means he's only following teenage boys for the algorithm to feed him. Like, why is he admitting that? Right, like I just read you out what my algorithm was. That's because I interact with those kind of things. This article, I don't think is doing what I thought they thought it was doing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know if anyone else kind of feels like that, but it's not really... I'm not seeing the appeal of what they think they're doing. And I can't believe that this is like... this is the thing that's supposed to be saving his career right now. It's not necessarily doing what I think it was going to be doing. I still have to ask though, why didn't he just stick to actual adult dating apps? He tells me he previously had accounts on Raya, Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble. And while he did not go on dates with people he met on there, he ultimately he did go on dates with people he met on there. He felt too exposed that anyone he swiped right on was going to take screenshots of their conversations or brag to. And young boys on Instagram wouldn't? This article doesn't make sense. So you're saying that James Charles is going on dates with people from Raya, a celebrity dating app that you have to have permission to join. He's not going on dates with them out of people exposing the conversations, but instead is messaging random boys on Instagram. That is not a defense. That is not a defense. And by the way, James, if you stumbled on Raya, Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble, you would see that there are other gay men that exist. And if you went on Raya, you would see that there's other famous gay men that exist between the ages of 20 and 25. You're actively not looking for them. You're actively not looking for them. He doesn't fully address that anyone on any social media would do the same. I know you know, and he knows, that Charles is on a mission to rehabilitate his reputation. But, and even though we've already established he's very good at his job, I have to tell you that his regret doesn't come across in person as the opportunistic thing as many influencers do. It's more that he seems young. Not that anyone in his position would have the luxury of being perceived as naive or, whatever. This comeback would look a lot different if Charles were not a physically beautiful white man. What? 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 This comeback would look a lot different if Charles was not a physically beautiful white man. Well, you're feeding into that. No. What? 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 So weird. So weird. I sometimes wonder what I would do if I blew up my professional life in a public way, and the answer is I'd hide away in a surf shack on a remote island, swaddling myself until my money ran out. But I'm no James Charles. The traits that made him so famous in the first place, the instinct and ability to connect, to seek out light, are the same that have pushed him into the backlash and pain. Another photo of him. This article I don't think is very good at all. I don't think this article is very good at all. He's more cautious now, although not so much that he's given up on the DM sliding completely. What? What do you mean? 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 He's more cautious now, although he's not given up on DM sliding completely. No. Well, you don't want to talk about that. What? What? Which of your babies are behind you in the bed? Both of them. They're both sleeping right now. They're both really tired. Because it's bedtime for them. They're like, why are you still awake, Daddy? Instead, he requires potential romantic interest to provide... At what stage did you just give up? On, trying to date. Clearly, there's something wrong with you. I'm joking. You know what I mean? I'm a club bouncer at this point, he says. Which even still hasn't stopped the occasional breach of trust. Earlier this year, a TikTok user shared snippets of flirtatious conversations he had with Charles, in which Charles outlines his requirements for a boyfriend. Charles also tells me he recently caught a 17-year-old trying to lie about his age by taking a digit out of his ID. Why are you still doing this? Why are you still doing this? Oh my God. They're just admitting that he's still talking to 17-year-olds. Why are they admitting this? They're just admitting that he's still talking to 17-year-olds. They said, oh my God, he was recently caught talking to a 17-year-old who was lying about his age. Why are we talking about this? Why are you admitting that? This is not the defense you think it is. More than ever, Charles seems focused on his goal. What is the goal? Because this article has not outlined it, which is to reclaim his spot in cultural mainstream. While this article is doing a great job at that, babe, it's claiming his spot somewhere. Woo, 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 woo. I see a lot of people saying, oh my God, nothing even happened to him. He got away with all... Oh, this is James saying this. Nothing even happened to all of this. He got away with no sort of repercussions, he says. This is so far from the truth. It certainly wasn't an overnight thing where I'm now slaying again. Okay. Eventually, he hired a PR firm to help. They are trying to get me into every single event and premiere and red carpet and show, and every single one of them was a no, he says. But ultimately, the gatekeepers, by some mysterious but increasingly common mixture of time, softened. Charles started making significant appearances at the Grammys, the Scream Six. So then why are we talking about cancel culture if you're now saying that he is, back in Hollywood again? Someone said, I gotta be old. What happened to meeting people in real life? Tinder, etc. is scary. Okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. The age of meeting people romantically in person has kind of died out. It kind of has died out. I don't think we're in a space anymore where people are going to coffee shops and meeting the love of their life. I don't think we're at a place anymore where people are going to a park and meeting the love of their life. And I think a lot of people, most people, rely now on dating apps, like how James Charles would have to. However, he should be relying on dating apps, that validate people's ages, dating apps that are specifically catered towards celebrities. And there's ways around it. There's ways that everyone deals about it. He's choosing just not to deal with it. Not Corey DeSoto and James Charles dating. It's like my personal nightmare. So he's in the Scream 6 premiere, the Grammys, a young Hollywood night hosted by Vanity Fair and TikTok. He should also note that he made an appearance at the Cosmopolitan party in LA. Okay, so you're incredibly biased towards him is what you're saying, because he goes to all of your parties. And now there's Painted, his biggest business swing yet. The first product, Create Paint, is a set of cream colors in 10 shades encased in tubes to look like art supplies. Designed for use on the eyes, face, and body, the paints are made from... Okay, I really don't care. I wonder why he didn't publicly post a screenshot of the apology note he got from the fans. Wasn't he mad? Didn't he want to give his haters at least one big fat "I told you so"? Possibly. But if anyone knows what it feels like to have the full wrath of the internet down on you, it's Charles. Well then, la 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 la, no 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 no, 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 no 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 no. If anyone knows what it feels like to have the wrath of the internet on you, it's Charles. No, it's what James Charles does to other people. James Charles went on a lying spree about me, getting me a hate campaign, and was the sole reason I got swatted and doxxed back in 2020. James Charles, is no victim. No. What's her name? Gabrielle Bluestone. Have you done any research for this? No! I think it's important that we allow people to grow and learn. The idea that someone fucks up and their entire life and career is over is something that's horrifying. These days, it just feels like our culture at large, for better or for worse, is haltingly reaching the same conclusion. After all, don't the medium cancelled now walk among us? This fall, while you perhaps wear a James Charles painted eyelid, I know I won't, you may find yourself baking out of Alison Roman's new cookbook, Okay, what does that mean? In our own messy, imperfect way, maybe we're starting to calibrate our responses to the severity of an offender's offense. Maybe we've arrived at the point where we're doling out appropriate levels of social... Or maybe we're just tired of keeping score, letting our feeds figure it out for us. That was not good. That was not good. That was not good at all. My perception of James Charles is worse after reading this than what it was 30 minutes ago. Do they think this article was like, what was the name of it again? James Charles would like to be on cancel, please. Okay. The article did the exact opposite of what it was. The narcissism from him and the journalist. It was not good. I'm so glad people wanted me to read that because that was... Oh my God. Not good. Don't hit me with this bullshit. James Charles is the person who knows what it feels like to get the internet criticism on you. Fuck out of here with that. How are you opening the article with like cancel culture? And then the ending of the article is like James Charles is inviting to every Hollywood red carpet event now and his career is thriving. Two can't be true at the same time, babe. Two can't be true at the same time. Boo. Boo. Boo.